Say hello to the 2021 Toyota Camry TRD, which is the sportiest new Camry you can buy. TRD stands for Toyota Racing Development, which is why it makes sense that the Camry TRD is the sportiest new Camry you can get. Although, unlike the crazy styling may suggest, the 3.5-liter V6 that is found in this Camry that produces 301 horsepower is also found in other non-TRD Camrys. Though, Toyota did lower the suspension by 0.6 inches and upgrade the front brake rotors. That, combined with the fact that the Camry TRD is the lightest V6 Camry you can get, does give it the sporty edge over other Camrys. So the styling is arguably the biggest change from a standard Camry to a TRD Camry, and I'm perfectly fine with that. I actually love the look of this TRD Camry, and I'm so happy that Toyota made anything that looks like this. At the front you have, for lack of a better word, front splitter in black, and then side skirts coming down the side of the vehicle, and in the back you have rear diffuser, again, for lack of a better word. I don't think any of that's functional, but it looks really cool. Same with this wing around back. Looks amazing. Doubt it's all that functional, but I love that it's there. It gets looks. This car gets looks. I also, by the way, love these 19-inch TRD wheels. This car gets look. When you're driving down the road, people stare, people point, people kind of laugh because it is a funny looking car. And I love that about that. The Camry, it's a handsome looking vehicle. The standard Camry, it's a handsome looking vehicle, but it blends into the parking lot. This does not. This stands out, and I love that. I especially love it in this white color. It's like a stormtrooper spec. You got the white and you got the black, and then a little bit of red for that dark side vibe. I think it's an amazing looking vehicle, and I'm not disappointed that Toyota didn't put a more powerful engine in this car. I mean, that would have been nice, obviously, but actually the 3.5-liter V6 in this car, 301 horsepower, is very smooth and is a great engine for this car, for the Camry in general. And the styling just gives it that spice that the other Camrys are missing. But then once you get behind the wheel and you're able to spend a bit of time with the Camry TRD, you realize it's actually been tuned for a much different purpose than its aggressive styling would suggest. Everything about this car is just very easy. The engine, 301 horsepower, is more than enough to move this car very smoothly. The suspension is actually very good over bumps. Occasionally, there is a sharp jolt that enters the cabin, but then these seats are some of the most comfortable seats I've ever sat in a car. And so the seats will soak up any jarring impacts that happen to pass by the suspension. And the transmission you don't notice at all, which is what you want in a transmission. So honestly, this is just a very comfortable cruising car, and I see why the Camry has been so popular. I mean, it used to be the best-selling non-truck in the United States. That title has now gone to its SUV sibling, the RAV4, but the Camry still sells in the hundreds of thousands of units every year, and I see why. This is just such a comfortable car. Everything about it is just easy to use and smooth. And when you are just cruising down the highway, there's a great lane keep assist. It has both, lane keep assist to help you steer back in lane, and a lane centering system that is pretty good, better than a lot of systems I used. So that also will help you with long journeys and stuff, and adds to this car's feeling of just being, it's a cruiser, almost a GT car. This is like a GT Light. So most GT cars, like an Aston Martin or a Bentley Continental, those are crazy expensive. This is like Toyota was trying to get into that mindset of a GT car. It's got the bigger engine and it's got this sporty styling. I think it looks really good, but yet it's comfortable and you could just drive it for hours and hours on end. That is really the vibe with the Camry TRD. Outside it looks like a street racer, but inside it's more of a comfortable, soothing, smooth experience. And I personally really like that. But if you do want to have fun with this car, as the styling suggests you really can, you still can. When you put your foot down, it's quick. And then for a split second before it upshifts, like about 5,500 RPM until it upshifts, the Camry TRD is fast. This 3.5-liter V6 really wakes up in the upper ends of its RPM range. And it does push you into the back of your seat, and then it upshifts and it goes back to being quick. This is no sports car, obviously. I mean, as I said, it really does feel like it's tuned to comfort. I kind of do feel that stiffened suspension that this TRD Camry has over the regular Camrys. It isn't a slouch in the corners. It handles its weight, which is about 3,500 pounds, really pretty well for, it is a big car. This is like a mid-sized family sedan. It does handle its weight well, but it's no 911, and I don't think anyone is expecting it to be a 911. It does lean. It does lean in the corners, and the turn in, it's relatively quick. I would have liked it to be a little quicker. The lane keeps system is just beeping at me. I would like it to be a little quicker, but overall, you can have a blast with this car. There are different drive modes in the Camry TRD. There's Eco, Normal, and Sport. I left it in normal basically the whole time I've driven this car. Eco, it's a little slow to give you the power you want, and sport mode, it holds the RPMs a little higher than I'd like. And so normal is a good balance, and also just adds again to that comfort and smoothness of the car. This is just a cruiser. That's the essence of this vehicle. Speaking of the interior, it's a very well laid out, very easy to use cabin. The Camry for 2021 was facelifted. It received a very minor facelift for this model year, and the biggest changes are in here. It's got this new kind of tablet style infotainment system, which I really like. It allows the screen to be higher up, more in your line of sight. You don't have to look down as much, easier to use. I'm a big fan of this. And it looks great too. This particular model has a 7-inch screen. 7-inch screens are kind of small in modern standards. There is an optional 9-inch screen, which would help fill up the infotainment system, the display, the space they have allocated for it a little more, but it's dead easy to use. It has Android Auto and Apple CarPlay, which is what you're gonna be using when you use this infotainment system, but it's got hard buttons too for your shortcuts, volume knob, and a tuning knob. Super easy. Below that you have physical climate controls, really nice, all easy to use. You got these amazing seats, power operated on the driver, one-touch window switches for all 4 windows, great materials, like soft wherever you'd want them to be soft. They're hard further down, but you would expect this. This is, you know, a entry-level vehicle, not an entry-level vehicle, but a standard vehicle. The steering wheel is nice. The leather wrap is very nice. The cabin adds to the feeling of this being a cruising car. Like, you've got these TRD, you know, headrests and red seat belts. And you do have paddle shifters. They're okay. The car will automatically upshift even if you're in manual mode, and you have like a TRD shifter, but it's still a very comfortable cabin. No comfort, no luxury that this car has was sacrificed for the sportiness of the car, which I think is a good thing. You know, this is really going to be a daily driver, and it really excels in that department. A few gripes, really minor things. I don't feel like the analog gauges in this car get bright enough during the day. The red on black I wish was just a little bit brighter. It takes me just like a split second to refocus my eyes when I'm looking at them, but there is the digital gauge in the middle of the gauge cluster that is bright enough, and that can display your speed, which is all you're gonna look at really, so really it's fine. Another thing, there are 3 USB ports in this cabin, 2 in the center console, a USB-C and a regular USB, and then a regular USB up front in front of the cup holders. Now, the only USB port that allows data transfer, meaning the only one you can use to plug in Apple CarPlay or Android Auto, is the one up by the cup holder. So that means instead of being able to have your cord tucked away neatly into the center console, it has to kind of just sit there with your phone. I know, a first world problem, am I right? But it would be nice to be able to tuck the cord away into the center console. It's not the end of the world, but yeah, that's just something I'd look for in maybe a next generation car. So that's the Camry TRD. Crazy styling, very comfortable driving dynamics, and just a very competent vehicle. Excuse the lane keep assist system, please. It's a very competent vehicle. I really understand why Camrys sell as well as they do. It's very good at being a car. You feel the 100+ years of automotive engineering and refinement that we as a society have been through in the past century in this car. So what do you guys think of the Camry TRD? Would you choose the TRD Camry over all the other Camrys, or would you even choose a Camry at all? $34,000, that is kind of expensive, but you're also getting a really cool looking car and a very comfortable powertrain. Thanks for watching. Like, comment, share, and subscribe, and I'll catch you guys in the next video.